Guys, today we are going to look at the best online arbitrage softwares. We are going to make a tier list. If you guys don't know what a tier list is, this is it. It used the Japanese ranking system, so S being supreme, the best one. We are going to A, B, C after that, and today no D or Fs, because if you don't know, there's so much, I don't know what a good word is to describe this, but there are so much incompetencies, and I don't even know if you say that in English, but there are so much incompetencies in that space. So if you are a software developer, look into softwares for Amazon FBA and more specifically online arbitrage, because so many people don't know what they are doing. The softwares are just trash. It's such a good space to launch a software and make a lot of money. So we are going to dive deep into it. Let's start. And we are going to start with the smoke directly, because this specific software pissed me off. It's called OA Buddy. And it's going to go straight to be fucking for real, guys. Because it costs basically $200 for a Chrome extension. And all it does is basically telling you how many gift cards you can use on that website, what is the maximum order quantity that you can order without getting canceled on that website. And I feel like, personally, it should be common sense and it should be shared knowledge among the community. I don't understand how some guy can come and basically turn a spreadsheet with all that information into a Chrome extension. And like, no shades to anyone, but like, how stupid are we? Like, why is that not shared knowledge that you can place like up to 3 orders on Walgreens.com easily? That you should not go above that amount of orders on Target.com, that you can use 3 gift cards on Kohl's.com. How is that not shared knowledge? Why should you have to spend $200 to get a Chrome extension that's basically a spreadsheet turned into a Chrome extension? Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. It shows how bad we are as a community. This should be shared knowledge, and it isn't. And it leaves the opportunity for some guy to make that thing and sell it for $200. I don't understand. But let's not talk too much about that. I said what I had to say. Let's go to the next one. So we are going to be more positive now. KEEPA, easily, super easily S tier. KEEPA is just the best software you can use in your online arbitrage business, because it gives you all the vital informations you need to validate leads, to figure out at what price you can sell your products. And if you want to learn how to use KEEPA, I have another video on that. Check it out. It is about how to use KEEPA for online arbitrage, validate leads, all that, figure out at what price you can sell that product, figure out how much your product is selling. It's about all that, so make sure to check it out. Next software on the list, Inventory Lab. So, honestly, it should be A tier, but for me, and it's borderline in between the two, in between A and S. Why do I put it in the S tier? I put it over there because I just don't know how to run my business without that software. And in my opinion, it is a testimony on how good this software is. There's a lot of things wrong with it, especially with if you are doing retail arbitrage. When you get Inventory Lab, you get Scoutify for free. Scoutify is an app on your phone that helps you scan it products and see how much they sell it for, see the offers, and see if it's a good product. And helps you make buy lists, so when you get home, you just import your buy list to Inventory Lab. A lot of things are wrong. There's a lot of bugs. A lot of, when I used to use it, a lot of bugs, a lot of drops of service. But I just don't know how to run my business without it. And they solve a pain point that, in my opinion, is really important. And I believe it's a testimony of how good they are at solving this problem. No, I'm pretty sure that if some other guys came into this market with a better product, it would be a great thing because they need competition. But nobody is doing it, so they have the monopoly on that, and it is just a great software. I use it and I don't know how to run my business without it. I already mentioned I have no idea how to make a shipment, how to send a shipment to Amazon FBA warehouses without Inventory Lab. I never did it. I may have done it once or twice when I was doing private labeling, but with online arbitrage, when you have so much SKUs, I have no idea. Like, I have no idea I will do it without Inventory Lab. Easy S tier for me. Borderline, to be honest, between S tier and A tier, but easy S tier in my opinion. Next, Arbitrage Hero. I'm gonna skip ASIN Gadget for now because I want to talk about this one. Arbitrage Hero, in my opinion, goes to the C tier. Why? I just don't see why people buy this software. It's $49 a month, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't see what it does, except being tactical arbitrage but not as good as tactical arbitrage. It's just tactical arbitrage, but half as good as tactical arbitrage. In my opinion, I don't see it in any other way. I don't know what people see in that thing. I don't know how people use this thing. I've never felt like I needed that software to source, but it can be helpful to some people. So C tier, I'm sorry. C tier easily. And my opinion on that may change in the future if I try it, but I don't know why I should try it. I don't understand what this software can give me. Like, I cannot get with tactical arbitrage, with reverse sourcing, whatever. I don't know it will simplify my workflow. And for that reason, it's going to the C tier. Next, we're going to talk about ASIN Gadget. ASIN Gadget is a software that's, it's a tool, like, basically it's a multi-tool, okay? You can export a list of storefront from a specific listing and then use that list on tactical arbitrage or whatever, or make it, like, keep it in your file so you have, like, a list of storefront to stalk in the future. You can also see quickly if the brand is on listing, if there's a buy box. There's a lot of stuff that it does. It's good. It simplifies your life. But I feel like, honestly, personally, I feel like it should be part, like, of another software. Inventory Lab should implement something like that. It's not, in my opinion, this is not the software that should live by itself. It is still useful. It is still useful. So it's going to go to the B tier, I believe. Yeah, I think it should go to the B tier. By the way, if you disagree with me, just go in the comments, tell me why you disagree with me, and I'm open to this, to discuss this. Same thing, if I forgot some softwares, same thing. Let's go to the comment, let's discuss about it, and see where it should have been. Next, Scout IQ. Scout IQ is an amazing software if you are doing books. And if you are doing retail arbitrage, it is useful to some extent. Not if you are doing online arbitrage. But I still had to mention it because I know a lot of beginners are going to see this video. If it was a list about retail arbitrage or books, easily S tier. In front of KEEPA. Even in front of KEEPA, I believe. However, this list is about online arbitrage. So I think I'm just not going to put it, but I had to mention it for the beginners among you, because you may not know all the softwares that you can use in your business. So I had to mention it. However, it is not useful for online arbitrage. Just for that reason, we are going to put it over there, and just know that it is an amazing software if you are doing books, if you are doing retail arbitrage. And let's move to the next one. We are going to talk about Jungle Scout now. Jungle Scout is amazing if you are doing private labeling. I believe it is also great if you are doing wholesale. However, if you are doing online arbitrage, I know some people use it. I used to use it for private labeling because, as I told you, I started my Amazon journey with private labeling. When it comes to online arbitrage, I don't know how this specific software will come into my software rotation, if I can call it like this. It is still a great software. It's a little bit expensive, but since it does not come in my rotation, I still think that I would choose it before getting Arbitrage Hero. I think for online arbitrage, it's going to be B tier, right? But it's borderline C, to be totally fair. It's borderline C. ASIN Gadget, I will still get ASIN Gadget before Jungle Scout. ASIN Gadget is like $70 a year, I believe. So you do not feel it, you just pay one time and then you try. The thing I have to mention about ASIN Gadget is I'm not sure I will renew it next year. I need to see how the software evolve, but it's not a must-have for me. No, the price is so low that I may still do it, but whatever. For that reason, I think Jungle Scout will be below ASIN Gadget for online arbitrage. If we were talking about private labeling, easily above all that. And KEEPA would go to A tier, I believe, for private labeling. But once again, online arbitrage is going to go to the B tier. Next, we are going to talk about AMZSCOUT Profit Calculator. So what is it? It's a software that you can use just like SellerAmp when you are on the listing, and you can calculate your profit by entering your cost because it will deduct all Amazon fees. Now, it is doing that for free. While SellerAmp is, I think it's $20 a month, I'm not sure. But yeah, it is doing that for free. And it's doing half what SellerAmp does. No, I've never used it. But I have recommended it in my previous videos for the beginners among you that does not want to pay money for SellerAmp. No, SellerAmp is cheap. SellerAmp does a lot of other things. But AMZSCOUT does half of what it does for free. So for that reason, I'm going to put AMZSCOUT Profit Calculator in the, let me think. It's going to go to the B tier because when you are a beginner, it's just free. So why would you not get it? You know what? It should go to the A tier. It's free. I've never used it, but it's free. I started straight with SellerAmp. But it's free, so if you are a beginner, there's no reason for you to not get it. Just get it, start to calculate your profit, look at some leads, try to validate leads with AMZSCOUT and KEEPA. And there's really I really don't see why you would not get that software, except if you have SellerAmp. I don't use it because I use SellerAmp for the other features that they provide, such as exporting leads to a spreadsheet, and I think it's the most important one, but we are going to talk about SellerAmp later. Let's go to BQOOL. If you know me, you know I used to call it BQOOL. I have the right pronunciation now, it's called BQOOL. BQOOL S tier. Why? I'm just too lazy to reprice my items myself. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm also too lazy to go to BQOOL every day and check it every single day. But when you are deep in stock in an inventory, this is just a must-have. When you are beginning, I don't think you need it, but once you cross a certain point, I believe it's a must-have software. No, a lot of my listing sells without the help of a repricer because I do not set my repricer directly when my items arrive in stock. Most of my items, and if you source correctly, it should happen to you too. Most of my items sells without me having to set up the repricer on it, if I'm not too deep in inventory. If it's a listing where I go deep into inventory or it's just a replenishable, of course I'm going to set up the repricer on it. Not on new listings though. So S tier easily, and it's borderline A tier, I believe. Of course, the more you scale, the more it is going to be important for you to have a repricer. Talking about BQOOL, I use the $25 membership just because I do not set up, I don't feel like I need to set up the repricer on all my items. No, when I was doing retail arbitrage, it was different. I was directly, when my items went on in stock, I was directly setting up my repricer, because when you do retail arbitrage, you have so much more SKUs than when you do online arbitrage. With online arbitrage, you can easily go in stock with 100 units, 200 units. So you are doing more units per SKU. So you are going, at least myself, since I started doing online arbitrage, I'm not going as wide as I was going when I was doing retail arbitrage. So for that reason, it is S tier, but I feel like if you are doing retail arbitrage, you should get it way faster than if you are doing online arbitrage. With online arbitrage, I feel like you can wait a little bit. It's not as important for you to have a repricer that if you are doing online arbitrage. The other way around. If you are doing online arbitrage, it's way more important for you to have a repricer than if you are doing retail arbitrage. Actually, it's the other way around, but you get it. I'm not gonna mess up 5 times. If I repeat it, I'm gonna mess it up once again, so I'm just gonna do it. Let's move to the next one. Tactical bucket. So I haven't felt like I need to use this software yet. I use tactical arbitrage, I use tactical expander, but what tactical bucket is it adds more website to tactical arbitrage and more bulk categories as well to existing websites. Personally, I add websites to tactical arbitrage manually with XPath. I have tactical expander, and by the way, tactical expander is free with tactical buckets if you get the $89 or $99 membership amount. I don't remember, but you can just pay $29 for tactical expander, and this is what I do. Now, I may use it in the future when I need to find more leads faster, because I think it's going to help me at that point. Right now, I don't feel like it's a must-have for me, because to be honest, I don't even use tactical arbitrage that much. I believe for the month of December, I used like maybe 6,000 minutes. And before that, I think in November, October, November, I used like close to 80,000 minutes. Because I was just starting online arbitrage. Before that, I was doing retail arbitrage. And when you figure it out, you need the help of softwares to scan websites. You don't need it as much as you did when you started. So I'm totally fine. I don't even use all my minutes for tactical arbitrage, and I'm able to spend as much money as I need to scale my business. So this is why I do not really need tactical buckets yet, but I may try it soon. So as of now, personally, I'm going to put it in the B tier. It may go up. When I imagine that when I will scale and I will get to another level, it's going to be A tier, maybe S tier easily. As of today, I don't feel like I need to get it. I haven't felt like I need to get it. I do like, if you guys don't know, I do like close to $30,000 amount. I do around that amount as of now. And I just feel like it's not useful for me yet. Maybe when I get to, I don't know, maybe when I get to 100, 150, maybe $200,000 a month, maybe it will simplify my workflow, because I will be able to just scan much more websites with much more categories. Maybe at that point, but right now, at the point I am right now, I don't feel like I need it. I'm totally fine spending, like, I can spend easily, I believe I can spend easily $2,000 a day without needing it. I'm totally fine with just manual sourcing and using, like, not that much, but using tactical arbitrage. So for this reason, I'm just not I just don't need it. Let's move to tactical arbitrage. As I said earlier, I use tactical arbitrage, and for me, personally, it is going to A tier. Why? It is expensive. It is so useful, yet it is expensive, but you are going to save a lot of time sourcing. And actually, you know what? No, I just thought about it. It's going to the A tier, to the S tier, I'm sorry. Tactical arbitrage is an amazing tool. However, the learning curve is steep. There's a lot of ways you can screw up by using tactical arbitrage. You need to learn how to use it properly. You can mess up, as I said, because if you source like everyone else source, you are going to only find products that are going to tank. You need to check out my other videos on how to source, and you will have an idea of what you need to do before using tactical arbitrage and how to use it. But when you learn how to use it, it's such a time saver. You still need to do, like, it's not, of course it should not be the only tool in your arsenal, but it is such a great tool, and I'm going to put it above BQOOL, actually. I believe this is where it belongs. It is such a great tool when you know how to use it. If you don't know how to use it, you are going to waste money. But it's to be honest, it's such a great tool, and for that reason it's going to the S tier. I don't think there's any discussion about it. I know some big sellers that do not use tactical arbitrage and that just do retail reverse sourcing and manual sourcing. I think that in the future, I don't know. Honestly, it is so easy to scan, and it is at scale. It is just so worth it. It's just so inexpensive when you are doing a lot of sales, when you are doing a lot of money. It's just $89 a month for 40,000 minutes of scanning. For that reason, it's going to the S tier. Next on the list, SellerAmp. So, I used to hate SellerAmp for the reason that at one point it was just so lazy. So you were spending $20 a month, and when you were clicking on the Google button to go to a Google search, the text parsing was often not working. If you don't know what text parsing is the term that we use. I don't even know how to explain it correctly, but basically it's coding a software to take a specific string of letters. So for that case, it was the name of the product, and for some brands it was just not working. For example, when we had the epsilon sign in the name of the product, so the epsilon sign is the and sign. So for example, all the products that were Bed Bath and Beyond were not working when you were clicking on the Google icon, and you were just getting Bed Bath and in the Google search, and it just pissed me off. This issue has been fixed since then, so I feel better about it. It is still a great software, though. Don't get me wrong. I use it every day because they have great features. However, if you are just starting, honestly, in my personal opinion, reverse sourcing is not where you should go if you are just starting. And I know a lot of people say that this is where you should be starting. In my opinion, it is not. Because when you reverse source, if you don't know how to find deals, how to find coupons, and how to manual source, you are not going to be really successful with reverse sourcing. And you really learn those skills by manual sourcing. So for that reason, I believe that if you are just starting, you are on a budget, just get KEEPA first. Get AMZSCOUT, then, since it's totally free, just get that. And with those two, just go ahead and manual source. Find some websites that are not on tactical arbitrage or whatever. Maybe take the maybe take the free trial of Tactical Arbitrage, figure out the website, use it a lot during that free trial, and then just cancel and just do manual source on some other website that you can find that you know are not on Tactical Arbitrage. This is where you're going to make a lot of money manual sourcing, especially cosmetic websites. I released a video on how to manual source, and I teach you in that video how to specifically source manually cosmetic website. Check it out. I think this is what you should be starting with when you are starting. It's going to be hard at the beginning, but this is my opinion, and I know this is not the way people think about it, but for beginners, I think this is the way you should go, and not reverse stalking storefronts and reverse sourcing. Do as you want, but I just believe it's just my truth. But still, Seller AMP is gonna go to the A tier. Yeah, it's borderline B tier. Honestly, borderline B tier. But I'm still gonna put it in the A tier, I believe. Yeah, I think the A tier is a great fit for this guy, for this software. I believe this is where it belongs. Yeah, I believe it's where it belongs. Let's move to the next one. DS Amazon Quick View. I think this is how it's called. Let me check. DS Amazon Quick View. So this is a software that is totally free. And what it helps you to do is, I prepared this in advance to show you. So it gives you this little box. So when you are looking through a search, you can quickly see if Amazon is on the listing, how many sellers are on the listing. You can quickly, if you pay, actually, you can do it. I'm not even paying, I have the free version. You can quickly see the seller rank. I don't know if I told you that. You can quickly see the ASIN, and you can copy and paste it into your seller, whatever you want to do, into your seller app if you want to check if you can sell the product. It's so convenient and it's free. And for that reason, let's go back to the tier list. For that reason, since it's totally free, S tier. I don't see any reason why you should not get this software. And this is the reason why I put it in the S tier. Is it better than Seller AMP? No. Is it better than Jungle Scout, ASIN Gadget? No, but it's just free, and it is just so convenient. It's a good role player, so for that reason, it's going to the S tier. Bottom S tier, borderline A. But since there's no reason why you should not get it, it's going to the S tier. And I'm just going to change my mind now and put it in the A tier. There you go. Next. Tactical Expander. So, Tactical Expander, in my opinion, is a must-have if you have Tactical Arbitrage, because it adds so many websites that most people are not scanning. Also, sometimes some websites on Tactical Arbitrage stops working for a short period of time. Most of them are still on Tactical Expander. For that specific reason, and to be totally honest, I started having a lot of success with Tactical Arbitrage when I got Tactical Expander. You can be totally fine using Tactical Arbitrage without Tactical Expander if you know how to use it, but it is such a game changer. But since it's an add-on, it's going to go to the A tier. It is so useful. You do not necessarily need it. And I'm just thinking, maybe, and I must say maybe, Tactical Arbitrage should go to the A tier and Tactical Expander go to the S tier. Because Tactical Expander is just so good, and Tactical Arbitrage is way better when you are using Tactical Expander. What Tactical Expander does, it adds websites to your... It just gives you more websites to scan. So you can just scan like 500 more websites. The thing is that you will not scan them on Tactical Arbitrage. You would scan them on your computer, so you will have to have... For example, if you want to do target.com, you will need to have target.com open on a tab and let it scan on your computer. Usually what I do is I have two screens and I move Tactical Expander and the website that I'm scanning on the screen on my right, and I let it scan while I'm manually sourcing other website or looking for deals on websites for tactical arbitrage. It is such a great software, S tier, and let's move down tactical arbitrage to the A tier, because it is just so much better when you are using Tactical Expander. Let's move to IP Alert, guys. So what is IP Alert? IP Alert is an extension that sends you an alert every time you open a product page from a brand that, from a product page for a product from a brand that has done IP Alert in the past. Now, I'm sorry, there's a bird on my window, I'm really sorry. This is why I was looking. But, so is IP Alert useful? And this dude is making so much noise. Okay, he just left. So, IP Alert. How useful is it? So it's not always accurate. And you can figure out if a brand has done IP Alert in the past by a lot of other ways. You can figure it out by using KEEPA. Now, do I recommend using IP Alert? Yes, I do, because it's so useful. When you get an alert, when I just get an alert for a product from IP Alert, I just don't get the product at all. I just don't get it. I just skip to the next lead. Now, how useful it is? It is $200 for the lifetime license, just like OA Buddy. But when it comes to IP Alert, it is for something that is actually to avoid you to get problem with your account. Like, to avoid getting your account suspended. So, for that reason, it is not going to... I mean, when you are doing online arbitrage, it's a must-have, in my opinion. It's pretty much the same business model as OA Buddy, but... Come on, OA Buddy, like, guys, like, come on. I don't know. S tier. And actually, above BQOOL. I think it's totally fine where it is right now. Yeah, I think it should be there. I don't see it any other way. If you had to compare, like, to use a sports analogy, it's a quiet guys. It gives you 15, 10, 7 every game, and you don't even see it. But is one of the cornerstone of your team. This is what IP Alert is. For that reason, it's going to the S tier. Pretty quiet guy, but super useful. Super, super useful. I think the list is great. Let me see. Let me double check before we end this video. Yeah, this is a great list, guys. This is really a great list. I don't see it any other way. The only thing I'm not sure about is tactical buckets. I will make an updated video. This is my tier list as a $30,000 a month seller. Let's see when I reach $100,000 a month if my list is still the same. I will make sure to make this video. Hopefully I will not forget. Yeah, this is my list as of now. Now, if you're a beginner, if you want to use how to learn, if you want to learn how to use KEEPA, check out this other video. And I'll see you in the next one.